Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's COVID conversation with Lynn, University of West Florida, and Florida Polytechnic. My name is Jason Rabinovich. I'm gonna go over a couple of housekeeping items with you, and then I'm gonna turn it over to our panelists. Let me just use some of the background noise. There we go. So first things first, I have not uploaded any handouts, but I'm sorry, I forgot to do that. I will put them in there while they're speaking. So during the presentation, you will be able to scroll over to the GoToWebinar control panel and download a couple handouts I put in there. So just bear with me, but that will be there before the end of the webinar. And if you don't get it, you can always email me, Jason at ScoreATT, or reply to one of my emails, and I can send it to you personally. If you have any audio difficulties, click on the little plus sign next to the audio, and you'll see an option to call in with phone. I've had to do it myself before. In fact, one of our panelists had to call in by phone because of some audio difficulties, so it happens, but there is an easy solution. Just wanted to do a quick poll to get a sense of who our audience is. So if you guys can answer this question on who you are, it'd be great. I'm just going to leave it in for about 30 seconds. I got one more quick poll after this, just to get a sense of where everybody is. Looks like we've got a lot of independent educational consultants on here, and our next largest group is Rising Seniors. All right, we got about 85% of the vote in, so I'm going to close this. And just if you can tell us about where you live, where you're watching this from, where will you be applying from? So looks like the majority from Florida, or the East Coast, and a little bit from the rest of the country. All right, I think that's good enough. We're at 88%. Okay, thank you everybody for taking that quick second. So tonight we have with us Miguel Antunes. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Miguel. He's the Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Lynn. He served in an admissions counselor since 2015. He is responsible for 3 territories in Florida: Martin County, Palm Beach County, and Central Florida, and has received his BA, MS, and MBA from Lynn. Also with us tonight are Anne-Marie Barke and Grace Tennyson. Anne-Marie graduated from the University of West Florida in 2019 with a degree in psychology and secondary education. She currently serves at the University of West Florida as an undergraduate admissions counselor. In that position, she travels to recruit freshman students to attend her university and help students and their families with the admissions process. Grace Tennyson graduated from the University of West Florida in 2016 with a degree in communication, arts, and public relations. She currently serves the University of West Florida as the Senior Coordinator of New Student Recruitment. In her role, Grace oversees the freshman and transfer recruitment team, recruitment travel, and transfer pathway coaches. And finally, our third panelist is Michelle Powell. She's the Senior Associate Director and oversees the admissions office at Florida Polytechnic University. Additionally, she assists in first time in college international students throughout the admissions process. Michelle currently holds a bachelor's degree in math from McKendree University, Illinois, and is finishing her master's degree in engineering at Florida Poly. Michelle has served prospective students of Florida Poly over the course of her 5-year tenure. She also has a background in instructional media and secondary mathematics education. Michelle and her husband live in Lakeland with their 1-year-old son, MJ, who may make a surprise appearance tonight. Finally, we have Barbara Leventhal. She's the representative from Score at the Top and Judy Rabinovich Associates Educational Consulting, our consulting arm. She brings to our educational consulting practice more than 30 years of experience as a teacher, administrator, and college counselor. Barbara likes to say that all parents take great pride in the special qualities of their children. My role is to define those qualities and channel them in unique ways that tell a compelling story for college admission. Many parents know Barbara as the guru behind student projects. Her ideas inspire students to create original projects based on their interests. Fully engaged with her proteges, she then guides them to project implementation. Some have created projects that drew thousands of dollars in donations. Others have written and published Amazon best-selling books. A little bit about tonight. Each college is going to give a short presentation in alphabetical order. Following the 3 presentations, there will be a Q&A session led by Barbara. And finally, you guys can send in your questions during the course of the webinar. And if they're not answered, I will hop in at the end of the webinar and go through your questions. Again, there's a little pop out for questions and then go to webinar control panel. You can just submit them there. So right now I am going to turn this over to Michelle. Let me just bring it over here, and there you go, Michelle. I'm gonna ask everybody else to turn off their cameras, and Michelle can take it from there.
Awesome, thank you. I pressed for it to share. Can anyone see my presentation?
We can see it.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to start with just giving a brief overview about what Florida Poly does. So Florida Poly is the state's only 100% dedicated university, and we are a public institution here within the state of Florida. We highly value our hands-on curriculum and students having the opportunity to really apply what it is that they're learning. And to do that, we do also recruit a very high academic achieving class. When we look at our fall of 2019 students, oh, I'm not clicking through. Let's see here. Here we are. When we look at the academic indicators for our students in our fall 2019 profile, last year we saw a middle range on the ACT between a 28 and a 32. On the SAT, we saw between a 1280 and a 1340, and the GPA between a 4.0 and a 4.2. We do look at the weighted core GPA for students. So they usually get a little concerned when students ask about a 4.0. It is a weighted GPA. And in terms of our acceptance rate, last year our acceptance rate was at 51%. I don't have the updated numbers for this year, but as we're looking for our class and how it is shaped up for fall of 2020, we have seen a significant increase in all of our academic indicators, SAT, ACT, and GPA. So those will be increasing for this next incoming class, and will continue to do so for the next few years as well. But continuing on to talk a little bit more about the things that we do here at Florida Poly and what our students are doing. We offer over 30 different academic programs, but being that we are a STEM university, everything is focused in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Our largest programs are computer science and mechanical engineering, and I'll talk about those here in just a second. But we also branch out into some other non-traditional STEM programs. We do have a business analytics and data science program. Those aren't necessarily considered STEM in some students' minds, but they are very much technical, and they deal a lot with science and mathematics and a lot of analytics. So we do offer a business program. We also offer the data science. But in terms of our other programs, we also offer a degree that allows students to meet their pre-med requirements as part of our engineering physics program, so students can complete that degree and then go on to medical school, which is a nice fact that not many students know about us, so I wanted to make sure I shared that. But of those over 30 programs that we offer, our #1 program is computer science. About a third of our student population is studying in the computer science field. The way that our computer science program is structured, and all of our programs are structured, is that they are made up of core 60 hours of the program requirements. So half of your time at Florida Poly is spent focused on the degree program. Other universities may offer then 60 hours of general education requirements. We don't have 60 hours of general education requirements. We top that at 48. Which allows our students an extra 12 hours to dedicate to what we call their concentration. For computer science, we have a variety of concentrations that students can choose from, and the easiest way to think of them is that it's similar to a minor. So within computer science, we offer game development and simulation, as well as cybersecurity. These currently are our two most popular concentrations in computer science. We've had them from the beginning of the university, and so they're extremely popular across our student population, especially with the different labs and technology that we have for our students to really apply what it is that they're learning in our CGM lab, as well as with our supercomputer for the cybersecurity side of things. It's a very popular choice for our students. The other concentrations that students can choose within computer science, though, outside of those two, are some newer ones to the university. We offer software engineering, which is increasing in popularity with us. We also offer a big data analytics concentration, so students are interested in the data science aspect and how that relates with computer science. That's an option for students. And then we also offer an autonomous systems concentration. So autonomous is relating to those vehicles or those different items that are controlling themselves. They're relying on programming and computer science to tell them what to do and how the machine is going to think. And so that is a concentration within our computer science program as well. But it also is part of our computer engineering degree, but our computer science is the most popular program that we have to offer. Our second most popular program that I just want to highlight real quick is our mechanical engineering degree. About 25% of our student population is currently studying mechanical engineering. This program also is very hands-on, and our students have the opportunity to work in our nanotechnology lab. We have a machine lab, as well as our capstone and design lab. And so students really do have the opportunity to apply what it is that they're learning with us. Within mechanical engineering, though, students have a couple of different concentrations that they can choose from. One of those that's coming up in popularity is our aerospace concentration. We get a lot of questions about, hey, do you offer aerospace engineering? We do not offer aerospace engineering. That's a very specific type of program. So we offer that as a concentration so our students can get the general broad mechanical engineering degree where they can be marketable across multiple different industries, but then focus on aerospace if that is what they're interested in. We also offer concentration in nanotechnology. It's very closely related to the medical field. If students are interested in research, especially with medical technologies, that is a great option for students. But it deals a lot with the science of the small, so the nanoparticles and the way that they can be used in different technologies, sports equipment. You'd be surprised how much they rely on nanotechnology as well. So it has a lot of great applications. The other three concentrations that I just want to quickly mention, we also have materials and advanced manufacturing, operations research, and mechanical and thermal systems. So they all sound very technical, but we do have all the information on our website for students that aren't quite sure what they want to do, but we don't require them to declare their concentration prior to attending the university. Students can also choose different majors while they're at the university. They're not admitted to a specific program because every single one of our students must complete calculus, physics, and intro to computation and programming. Those are the three of our basic general education core requirements. And so with everyone completing those courses, typically in their first semester, they can choose whatever major it is if they want to change moving forward from there. So that's just a little bit about the actual academics that we offer, but those are just the programs. What we really focus on are what are the experiences that our students are getting. We require every undergraduate student to complete an internship. Those have been widely successful for our students. Within 3 months of graduation, 75% of our students are employed within their field or pursuing a master's degree within their field or even a PhD program. So we're really excited about the success our students are having, but it all comes from the real life experiences. Getting to do internships with Amazon, we've had students with the FBI, Universal, Disney, companies here within the state of Florida, but we've also had students go to they've gone up to Michigan, they've gone to New York, some have gone to California. We've even had students go out of the US. So it is a really great experience that students can choose really what they want to get from it, from that experience with the internship. I do also want to mention, I get asked a lot if we offer on-campus housing, and yes, we do. So I just want to mention that real quick because that seems to be one of the one of the myths surrounding Florida Polys. We do offer on-campus housing, and it's beautiful. If you've never visited campus, you should because it's gorgeous. So the next things that I just want to talk about is a little bit about what the university has coming up. We are the newest state university here in Florida. We're very proud to be new. It allows us to be nimble and adjust to what the needs of our students and of the engineering and technology market is to make sure our students are employable. And one of the things that we're doing is we're building an 85,000 square foot research facility. It will be completed in the exterior shell construction this fall, and it will open fall of 2021 for operation and for use by our students. So we're very excited for what that does because it allows us to expand our ability to have more resources for students to apply what they're learning. But mentioning the hands-on aspects of our program is very interesting in these times because of how everyone's having to respond to COVID-19. And so a couple of things that I just wanted to mention about how we're handling this situation is we've enacted a virtual tour. It's a pre-recorded virtual tour that students and anyone in the community can access if they would like to see campus. It's guided by one of our current students, actually two of our current students, Gabby and Colby, and they'll take you around and so you can see everything, virtually. We are also offering very limited amounts of personalized one-on-one visits. We're not allowing more than one family on campus at a time. And we have masks we're providing. We are following all of the CDC recommended guidelines. And so those are an option, but again, those are very limited for individuals that can take advantage of that. But one thing that you might be wondering is, well, how does that affect admissions deadlines and operation and instruction? Currently, we're sticking with our normal admissions deadlines. Our application will open August 1st. Our Top Scholars programs, that application will close November 1st, but we'll continue to accept applications after that on a space available basis. But when it comes to are we going to be on campus, what's going to be happening with online instruction, we're currently looking at the situation to come up with a variety of alternative plans for students and for faculty. Our number one priority is to keep our students, faculty, and staff safe. And of course, we want to continue delivering the excellent education that we do provide. And so we want to have students on campus, but we're also taking note and seeing if there are other options to do hybrid and that type of stuff. So we are looking at that. I don't have specifics yet, but we're on our way. So I'm going to stop my presentation here and see.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm gonna turn it over to Miguel over at Lynn. And oops, there we go.
Oh, I am muted. What's this? Can everyone hear me okay? I think I should be.
We can hear you now.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so once again, my name is Miguel. I work at Lynn in the capacity of Senior Assistant Director of Admission. I'm speaking to you today from both a professional standpoint, but also a personal one. I am a graduate of the university, so I'm very enthusiastic, and thanks again to Jason and the team for offering us this platform to be able to reach even more students, especially in today's climate. So my territories once again encompass everywhere from Palm Beach County all the way up to Volusia County and even Central Florida. I have both my degrees from Lynn University. I study communications with a minor in marketing, and I recently just graduated with my MBA as well with a specialization in marketing. So I'm excited to put all those skills to use and see how I can put myself in the students' shoes to be able to really understand what they're going through with being able to represent what their degree is going to offer. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that today. So Lynn University is over time, through amazing leadership and focus on putting the student first and being community centric, we've understood where we're good, where we really fit as far as being able to represent value for students, and that's in remaining a small size. So our campus population is about 3,200 students as a whole. The first year undergraduate student body is about 2,400 students. So It is very small, but in a way very intentional to make sure that students feel a part of a community, a part of a family, and we use those words very often, but it's put into use more often than most. Walking around the campus, you get greeted with hellos and smiles and a very warm feeling, and that's exactly what we want to be known as, is a family-style environment, so that students really feel comfortable to be themselves, because we welcome students from all walks of life and backgrounds. Just in the same way that 18% of our population is international, roughly 20 to 25% is from within the state of Florida, and the remainder being from out of state. So as those percentages shift and change, we remain with the platform of understanding that we are all styles welcome. We have an amazing platform academically that allows students to study abroad in the Center for Learning Abroad, where students can undertake degree programs and courses in 80 countries, 80 programs within 28 countries. Granted, of course, the current situation bars that. Eventually, that's something that we hope to be able to connect to students. But in typical Lynn fashion, just to take a slight detour with regards to the COVID situation, is technology is our friend. And having this conversation right now is fantastic, and we're still looking to see how we can connect students and keep students connected who have gone back to their respective countries and regions. So that is being implemented already with the platform that we have in the Canvas application, as well as the iPad that I'll go into as well. So the overview, we have 6 colleges that I'll go into a little bit more detail, 48 undergraduate majors, which are fantastically maintained to remain relevant with what's going on in the world that we live in today, so that students are not searching aimlessly for employment, that employment opportunities are there. As well as 34 graduate specializations if students are looking to further their education as well. In a nutshell, this is all presented in the 18:1 student to faculty ratio, where again, that family component comes into play. Students get to know their faculty members and vice versa in a dialogue format. There's no lectures. In fact, we have a curriculum which is known as the Dialogues of Learning, which I'll go into as well. But everything that wraps up this package is in the iPad-powered learning, which is not something that's meant to be a marketing piece. It's not meant to be something that's just to get students to look at Lynn University. It's meant to be that piece that ties them to their education, but also to their faculty members. So we've completely integrated the iPad into professors being able to create interactive materials that students can see and be enthused by, because these professors are the ones that are creating these books and materials. So gone are the days of buying that really thick textbook. I'm sure the families that are logged in right now will attest to this, that have gone through a degree program, trying to sell those books back again and going through all the quirks of owning a big stack of books that are for your courses simply doesn't exist anymore. In fact, 97% of the cost is cut by the iPad program, because everything is downloaded. It's at your fingertips, it's available, and it's exciting to interact with, where if you're like me, you're a visual learner, you need things to interact with, and that helps me get a lot more connected both to my classmates as well as to the material at hand. It comes already preloaded with a ton of apps, both apps that are created by the university, but thankfully Apple's massive take on education, which has increased the App Store to pushing over 1 million apps that students can use to tailor their education even further than we do. And Apple has actually recognized us as being an Apple Distinguished School now for the 2nd term. So that's over 4 years now. We are in our 5th. So we're extremely thankful to be working with them. Some other options are a 3-year accelerated bachelor's degree program, which is where a student graduates 1 full year early and saves on average about $50,000, because as an institution, we incur the cost of that senior year. So students would take a couple more courses at once, including a summer term, that allows them to graduate a full year early and take advantage of the financial savings, as well as being able to stand out to a potential employer by having graduated far sooner than some of their compatriots aiming for the same degree program. So about 23% of our population are enrolled. I'm going to move into academics next. And I mentioned before the dialogues, which is a very specific, very different, more innovative take on being able to offer the traditional components of the English, math, sciences, the traditional themes that you're used to seeing, English 101, mathematics, college algebra, and so on, but provided a different take in terms of being able to have students put to use the information a lot more. This will be specific to the major. So in some majors, math is more of a requirement than another. In all majors, a conversation or conversation ability is required. So those other themes explore everything from introspection with the self, how you relate to the society that we live in, from what's right, what's wrong, morality, ethics, and even scientific literacy, which pertains to climate change, and something that all of us are reading a lot about in the news, I'm sure. To encompass and see how this offers value is in the CLA assessment, which is a basic standardized test to measure learning, which before, when we had a traditional format, we're not performing so well until we implemented the dialogues, where now we are performing in the 88th percentile, much better than before, and offering students a lot more value in their education. Some of those outcomes include the soft skills that employers have said to us, or research to say, improve analytical reasoning, critical thinking, and more, as you can see on the screen, including oral and written communications. Now, the offerings that we have at the university are plentiful. We have 6 colleges, as I mentioned before, everything from aeronautics through to an amazing world-renowned conservatory of music. Some of the more popular majors I've listed on the side, including international business management, which remains to be one of the top, sports management, an amazing film and television production program, which is now a BFA, restructured to be able to offer more benefits to a student in terms of specificity, advertising and PR, and more. The take for us, though, is experiential learning. So being able to shift the classroom dynamic and put students out of the classroom and into the work field, as you see some of our students taking part in getting their feet wet and getting their hands dirty as far as doing the work instead of studying the work. These are some of the companies that our students have gone on to work for in terms of full-time employment, as well as internship experiences. We have a full internship office that works very, very well with our alumni office. So you can see some of the options up there. Examples of some graduates. Sydney, a recent class graduate of 2018 with some of her experience, now working at HBO. Tyler, now working at as a surgical associate sales rep. And even Thomas, representing Lynn very well at Merrill Lynch as well. So some reminders is we have virtual experiences to give you more information, and I know that our time frame here is short, so I want to encourage you, if you'd like to take an even deeper look into what's offered at Lynn, it's lynn.edu/visit, where we host daily information sessions with myself as well as other counselors, and more importantly with the students, the folks that you probably want to hear from the most. And those are hosted daily, even a virtual campus visit that is hosted by students one-on-one, so you have real-time feedback about what you're seeing on the screen, and then you see hopefully my smiling face at the end of the visit, and I'd love to get that chance to meet with you. Once again, my name is Miguel. My information is on the screen. I relish the opportunity to speak with families and get those tough questions about how we're tackling the problems that present themselves in this day and age. So please do, I know that we're going to go in more detail about that, but I want to make use of my time well here. Feel free to follow our social media outlets as well, but I'd like to give my colleagues some time to represent their institutions as well. And once again, thank you so much for offering us this amazing opportunity to get connected with students and families. We miss you. We want to see your faces and get to shake hands and share hugs on campus. So I hope we get to do that soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miguel. I'm now going to turn it over to Grace and Anne-Marie. There we go. And you guys can share your screen.
Sorry, there you go. Yeah. Hey there, everybody. My name is Anne-Marie Barke. I'm an admissions counselor for the University of West Florida. I focus on the Central Territory, and this is my supervisor, Grace. We're both Argo alumna at the University of West Florida, so this university is near and dear to both of our hearts. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you today about it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The University of West Florida is located in Pensacola, Florida. We are in Central Standard Time Zone, so Anne-Marie and I were glad we caught that before we were an hour late to the webinar. We're about as far west as you can get in the state of Florida. The next town over is Mobile, Alabama. So we're right over there, but it is an optimal location, and we're one of the few universities in the state of Florida where you actually get a season, so you might get a little cold here. Our location also is the perfect place for several different research opportunities, hands-on experiences. We have access to fresh water, salt water, many biodiverse environments, so our students really get a lot of opportunity for hands-on learning. What you see pictured here on the screen is a couple of UWF students heading out to the bay, because you can go all the way from our campus into the bay, which is pretty cool. We're also located 20 minutes away from the world's most beautiful beaches, according to me, honestly. We've got plenty of opportunities for exploring the beach. We have the state park as well right here, a national seashore, I believe, located on Pensacola Beach, so it's a great place to be. We're a very military-friendly town. We're home to the Blue Angels. They're the U.S. Navy premier air show team, which they're fantastic. We love Blue Angels Weekend. I think it's the largest holiday here in Pensacola, Florida. We were ranked one of the most military-friendly schools in the United States, and we're very proud of that. We have our very own Military and Veterans Resource Center to help any students or parents with dependents figuring out how to use their VA benefits, their military benefits here at the University of West Florida.
We have a big campus, but small classes. Our campus is about 1,600 acres. I know that sounds really big, but actually you can get anywhere on campus with about a 15-minute walk, and this also includes our 13 miles of different nature trails. UWF by the numbers, so we have over 90 undergraduate degree programs to explore. This includes nursing, biomedical sciences, marine biology, cybersecurity, anthropology, and archaeology. We have about an average class size of 26 students, a student body of about 13,000 students. We were named a Best Southeastern College by the Princeton Review 10 years in a row, and we are also ranked #2 in the state of Florida by the Board of Governors in 2019.
We're excited to share with you some opportunities that our students have. As Anne-Marie mentioned, a few of our most popular undergraduate degree programs. Like we said, we have 90 of them. There's a lot, but a lot of our programs do involve hands-on research. Like here, we see one of our marine biology students working with one of our underwater anthropology students to go check out a shipwreck, which is pretty cool, and the other one is gathering some samples of the sand there. So this is located right downtown Pensacola. We've got our own launch dock there to do all kinds of things. In fact, one of our UWF undergraduate and graduate student teams were downtown doing some research in this area, and they discovered the shipwreck that made Pensacola America's first multi-year settlement. We stole that title from St. Augustine, and sorry, St. Augustine. Part of what makes University of West Florida so special is our facilities and all of the things we have here for students to get their hands on. This is a synthetic cadaver. Only 6 other institutions in the world have something like this. It really allows our students to see what the inside of the body looks like before they have to go inside of the body. Our opportunities for undergraduate research are available for every single degree program that we have here. So as we see, we've got a student here in one of our labs. We have brand new science laboratory annexes with state-of-the-art equipment, and our faculty members are very eager to help our students conduct undergraduate research, no matter which degree program they're in or what their interests are. This is one of our engineering teams. We have a lot of different hands-on experiences. We call these high-impact practices. That's anything from undergraduate research, which we highly encourage. We're about to host one of the largest undergraduate research conferences in the nation in 2022. Super stoked about that. But this is one of our engineering teams. We've got a couple of different ones, and this was the Argo Tots team. They were the ones that fit a child's toy to a child with disabilities to make sure that he could enjoy that toy just like his friends, and it was a really incredible thing to see. In addition to that team, we also have the Baja team, which they're working on an off-road vehicle right now. And then something very exciting that Toyota is actually looking at is our research on what happens if you apply a sticky substance to metal. It actually reduces the amount of force that's required to cut something. So we're very, very excited to see where that takes us. Like I said, study abroad is very popular as well. It's another one of our high impact practices. This is our Kugelman Honors Program when they were in Peru. They went all the way up to a very remote village, and it was an incredible experience for them. What makes all this possible is that our class sizes are so small, and our faculty and professors, our staff, we all really care about the students. So that means that those interactions really help us figure out how we can best support our students to take part in these opportunities. Because we know sometimes you're going to school and you don't know exactly what you want to do, or you have an end goal, but you're not sure how to reach it. So having that support is so important, and we believe that
students come first here at UWF.
Jumping into athletics, so the University of West Florida is an NCAA Division II school. We are in the Gulf South Conference. We have 9 national championships, 15 varsity teams, and over 100 plus conference championships. This is our football team who just called the NCAA championship in 2019. They were cheered on by our Argo Athletics band as well as our cheerleaders.
Yeah, so we were the Division II national champions. That was pretty cool.
Exactly. And this is where our Argos get to play football. It's in one of the most beautiful stadiums out there, and it's in downtown Pensacola, and it also overlooks the bay. So if they kick a field goal too hard, it lands in the water, and that's really funny to watch them go get it out.
I think it's the only Division II stadium where you can tailgate right on the water, which is just a really fun opportunity for our students. Outside the classroom, there's still plenty to do. We have over 150 student organizations, everything from Greek life to special interest groups. And one of our most popular programs right now actually is the gaming club. They have over 400 students, and you can be doing board games, video games, whatever it may be. But if for some reason one of those 150 organizations doesn't fit what you're interested in, it only takes you and 4 friends and a staff member to back you to create your own student organization, which is a really cool thing to say that you did. We'll talk about some of our opportunities to get involved. Homecoming is a big deal here at the University of West Florida every year. We're very excited about that. Plenty of activities happen that week. This is our Student Government Association. We have one of the most prestigious student government associations in the SUS system. In the last 5 years, 3 of our student government presidents were not just our SGA presidents, but they were also the Florida chairs. That means that they oversaw the 12 other SGA presidents and were voting members on the Florida Board of Governors. They got to impact change, not just on our campus, but throughout the entire state. We have an incredible speech and debate team, as well as a mock trial team. We have our very own mock trial classroom as well for students to get involved in. There's plenty of activities for students to have fun. This is one of our Argo Arrival events. Every year there's a bullfight right in the middle of our commons. Not a bullfight, sorry, riding a bull. No bulls are fighting. No. But they do have the opportunity to give that a shot. I have not been brave enough to do it since I've been here, maybe this year. Plenty of performances, whether it's our orchestras, our symphonies, our theater programs, our art galleries. We have so many different things to happen. This is one of my favorite events on campus. It's our de-stressing event. It's when they bring puppies to campus, basically you get to pet. So what gets better than that? This is our musical theater program. They put on incredible productions. In fact, Little Mermaid was so popular that they put on an additional three programs with the help of the community. On campus, plenty of opportunities to exercise if you're into that. We've got our Health and Wellness Center. This is one of our water yoga sessions. These are our residence halls on campus. We have over 7 different types of residence halls, everything from the traditional dorm style all the way up into apartments. So plenty of opportunities for that. We even have a pet-friendly facility. So if you want to bring your cat, dog, you're welcome to. And of course, if you're going to come to UWF, you have to love to eat. We've got amazing food on campus. This is our taco place. We also have Chick-fil-A in our dining hall. But now we're going to talk to you about admissions. You want to start us off?
Admissions, absolutely. So just looking at admissions 101, this is what I'm going to be talking about in the next few slides. So we're going to talk about the 2019 freshman class academic profile, how to apply UWF, and of course, admission scholarship. Looking at the 2019 freshman class snapshot was a 3.89 GPA, an average composite score for the ACT of a 25, and an average composite SAT score of an 1180. Freshman applications are open for the summer as well as fall for 2020. You can go online and apply at uwf.edu/apply. We have extended the application deadline to July 1st, 2020 for the fall term. Deadlines for the fall and summer 21 term will actually be announced on our website in August. The application requires your application as well as your official high school transcript, at least one set of ACT or SAT test scores, and a $30 application fee or waiver.
We have a lot of different types of scholarships at UWF. The first one I'll talk about is our automatic consideration merit-based scholarship. This scholarship is based off of your GPA and test scores. And it's all about meeting that scholarship priority deadline, which will be announced in August as soon as our applications open up for the next recruitment cycle. So if you have that GPA and that test score, that's about the kind of money you can expect to receive. So it's a really great way to see what money you're going to have and have kind of a little bit more confidence before you even get your admissions decision back. If you're interested in automatic consideration for a merit-based scholarship, you really have to make sure that you meet that priority deadline. Like I said, that deadline will be announced in August on our website, on our admissions page. I also wanted an excuse to show you a couple of buildings. So this is the Laboratory Science Annex that has not even been used yet. It'll be open for fall. We also have our PACE Presidential Scholarship Competition. If you'd like to be considered for an invitation for this competition, you will need to submit all of your materials by that scholarship priority deadline. In this competition, students can compete for a full ride scholarship. I call them full ride plus scholarships because it also includes a study abroad experience or a paid undergraduate research opportunity. Interested? Priority deadline, very, very important. And this is our College of Business, another one of my favorite buildings on campus. We also have a National Merit Finalist Scholarship. So any student that achieves National Merit Finalist status will receive a full ride scholarship in addition to a study abroad experience or a paid research opportunity. So if you're National Merit semifinalist, please get in touch with us. We'd love to talk to you more about that full ride opportunity. Our Argo Spirit Scholarship Competition is for Florida Pell eligible residents, Florida Pell eligible students. You find out if you're Pell eligible by submitting your FAFSA. The FAFSA opens up in October. It is a competition that is based not on academics, but more on strengths of character, showing perseverance. We'd love to see how you impacted your community or were able to be there for your family. This is a full ride scholarship as well.
Frequently asked questions by students and their families regarding ACT and SAT test scores. We do super score, so please send us all the scores that you have so we can get you that super score. If you're interested in one of our merit-based scholarships, all materials must be submitted by that priority deadline. Like Grace has mentioned earlier, we really, really want you to get everything in by that priority deadline to see if you can get that scholarship. Any materials sent after the priority deadline will be used to help, will be used for an admissions decision, but not for the automatic base scholarships. We do accept dual enrollment credits. If you are graduating high school, even with as many credits you need to obtain to get your AA, you will still be considered a freshman. So you will still be considered a freshman regardless of how many credits or dual enrollment credits you have.
And that's just for admissions consideration. We'll still accept those credits. They'll go towards your degree, but you'll still be classified as a freshman for admissions purposes, which is really great because our freshman scholarships are far more robust than our transfer scholarships. Academically, you may be a sophomore, you may be a junior.
This is our freshman admissions counselors team. You can see my picture down in the corner. If you're from the North Florida area, your counselor is going to be Mr. Nate Benson Jr., and from the local Alabama area is going to be Heath Marker. And there is, if you go to admissions undergraduate website on uwf.edu, there is access to an appointment calendar where you can set up virtual meetings with all of us to help answer any questions.
If for some reason you're not, oh, sorry. Hello.
I'm sorry, ladies. I'm gonna have to cut you off so we can get with Barbara.
No worries.
So everyone can come back on. There you go.
Just want to thank all of you for the great presentations, and we have a few questions. So I'd like to ask each of you, how many of you are on the Common App? And Miguel, you are too, right? So for the two of you that are on the Common App, what I'd like to know is, how would you advise students to answer the question, the new question on the Common App, the optional one about COVID-19?
Michelle, I don't know if you were getting ready on.
You can answer first, Miguel, if you were going to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's every family goes through a different circumstance. There's no sort of cookie cut platform that says that it applies to every family. So my point of encouragement would be, tell us as much as possible and have a conversation with us, because beyond what we've seen this year is we've thankfully been able to give families the opportunity to tell us what's going on. So in the families that are going to be filling out the Common App with that section specifically, is give as much information that you feel comfortable giving us, and then maybe even a conversation beyond that, so that can all be taken into consideration.
Michelle, do you
I would
want to?
say that, yeah, that definitely consider what information you want to share as part of that question, because I know for us, we're even considering if we're no longer going to accept letters of recommendation. We haven't made a decision, but it's being discussed because we know that students have had a huge impact in their ability to build relationships with their teachers. And so having any type of context from a student is very helpful for us. Maybe in terms of even assessing need-based aid for students that are admitted, because right now with our students that have already been scholarshiped, we are still working with them because we've had students that had family-owned businesses that have completely shut down for the last 2 months, or their parents are unemployed and they have no income, and so they're struggling. And so we want to know that information about our students. We want to know how we can best serve them. And so that question is very, very helpful in gaining some of that information without overtaking the college essay. The essay can be used as a great way to express other information. And so having this extra question allows students to express even more information to us.
Okay, I'd like to ask each of you, tell us a story of some way that some quirky tradition that takes place on your campus. Okay, Michelle.
Oh, my favorite on-campus tradition, there's two. There's Florida PolyCon, which is our own Comic-Con on campus. It's every spring. It's canceled this year, unfortunately. But my absolute favorite one is HVZ, Humans versus Zombies. It is a huge game of tag on campus. Literally, there's 500 students that play every semester. They play with Nerf guns, and you start with one zombie and everyone else is a human. And then you try to be the last human to survive so the humans can win. And it's a week long, and it's the best thing because at a school where half of our students are engineers, they love to modify Nerf guns. So we have to have maximum standards for how many rounds can fire per second, not per minute, but per second, and the maximum speed that those Nerf rounds can fire. And it's great. It's so much fun. You see students running around all hours of the day. You could be in the middle of talking to a family on tour. You could be on tour, and all of a sudden students are just running past you, dressed up in all kinds of fun costumes and just having a great time building a sense of community. So that's my favorite because you really get to see everyone coming together to participate in that campus-wide event.
Miguel, do you want to answer?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like fun. I might want to try that out. But at Lynn, I think it's two stand out to me. One is Founders Day, which I think just sums up who we are so well. We like food, so it revolves around food a lot. We get involved in there's an annual canoe race where even the president of the university participates, and he has his fancy Canoe Force One, and he goes up against students who are also dressed up in all types of gear. And another one that revolves around food is Multicultural Day, where we get students to send in family recipes from grandma and uncles and aunts and moms and dads, and we cook the food for them in these different stations where we shut down the cafeteria. Everyone gathers around to learn a little bit more about one another's cultures and beliefs, and I think it initiates a lot of conversations where I got a couple new friends from that experience. So yeah, we like food at Lynn.
Yeah, the food is great at Lynn. Anne-Marie and Grace, what one do you want to share with us?
I think that we'll share Annan's Canon and our Cab After Dark event. So they're just two different types of traditions here at UWF. Annan's Canon was a cannon that was found in Pensacola Bay. We brought it to our now Cannon Greens, which is like the greens on campus. It's been named after it. And a quirky tradition is that on your way to take an exam, for good luck, you will go either put a penny in the cannon or rub the cannon. And then our Cab After Dark event is basically like having the county fair in the school parking lot. It's incredible. We have so much fun, lots of food, entertainment, activities, things like that. Is there anyone that you want to say?
I really like the haunted house that CAB does every year. They do different sections, like different themes and stuff, and it can get very, very frightening. And I don't scare easy, but they scared me 2 years ago really, really big. So that one's really fun. Everybody gets really creative, and everybody loves to get scared, and we eat after, and it's just so much fun.
Okay, so those are the things that everyone really looks forward to when they come on campus. But the class of 2020 is really going through a period of grief and loss because not only didn't they get any of the high school things that are typical, like prom, or if they were an athlete, a spring season, they didn't get it. They didn't get to say goodbye to their teachers and friends. They probably didn't have a formal graduation. So my question is, what are you doing or what are you planning to compensate for that sense of loss for that class?
We can answer first, if that's okay. To celebrate our scholarship recipients, normally we will go to award ceremonies, as I'm sure most universities do, to present those scholarships. But this year we did a drive-by mini parade caravan for those students. We really wanted to celebrate them, and so we made signs, we blasted music, we gave them a formal certificate. That was really fun. But for the fall, our president is really dedicated to figuring out ways that we can help them celebrate and help them feel so excited about this time in their lives. And so we're working on ways that we can incorporate virtual fun events as well as events that will have social distancing. So whether that would be some sort of competition where there's less than 10 people in a room, we're talking about like ideas for that. We're talking about scavenger hunts, just things that we could really do to have a fun celebration, but also make sure everyone's safe and healthy on campus.
Yeah, and I can add to that, at least to what we've seen is everyone is going through something different, whether it's just uncertainty or just pure fear. My size, my pool, and from the students we work with is so small that it's all one-to-one conversations. So I try to help not feel so distant by having us begin to host what I call the snacks and chats, where on a Friday, we'll get together on a Zoom call and all just have some fun, get to know one another, learn about the school, but more importantly, get connected to classmates. Because as much as we all live in Florida, it feels really, really far away. So snacks and chats is one way, and all the virtual sessions that we have to be able to have students and families feel connected are a lot of the outreach, probably 90% that we're doing.
And one thing I just want to add is we have a virtual student union that we've created for our current students and our incoming students as well. So it's a way for our students to connect with campus and get involved with some of the virtual events that we're doing. But similar to UWF, our president, Dr. Avent, is really pushing for us to figure out a way that we can find a safe medium so that students can be on campus, but we can make sure that everyone is staying safe and they can still enjoy all of the fun things that they get to enjoy as being on campus. For our graduates, though, we did a poll and they actually decided they wanted a physical graduation, but wanted it to be delayed. So our 2020 graduates will actually get to graduate in December. We already have released that date and all the information to them. So we definitely want to do what's best for our students and what they're wanting out of the experience. We want to make sure we provide that.
What do you think parents would be surprised to learn about the applicant pools?
Yeah, I can start off, and it's, knock on wood, it's really strange to be still at a point where it would emulate the numbers that we would probably see, granted there'd be no COVID situation. So we're really fortunate to be in a good position and welcome a large incoming class. But definitely being surprised that a lot of students from out of state, from in-state, all the numbers are remaining the same. So I think that would probably surprise families to hear that education is still a priority and your future is still a priority. So you're not the only one if you're taking that seriously and curing your fear of taking a step out the house. A lot of families are still really, really focused on getting a son or daughter the strongest foothold in starting college strong.
Anyone else?
For Florida Poly, I think one thing that I think would surprise families is that throughout this entire, the end of the fall into the spring semester, for our applicant pool, we've seen an increase in applications between 20 and 30% at any given time. So the need for higher education and wanting to pursue a degree has definitely increased, especially for the types of programs that we offer. So everyone talks about STEM as well, and minority populations and females, and we've seen significant increases in those populations as well. So we're really excited, and that's not just a step in the right direction for us as a STEM university, but just in general. I hope other STEM programs are also seeing the same increase because that just means good things for everyone.
Okay, so kind of quickly, are you test optional? Do you super score? Let's go through those questions real quick.
So we do super score at Florida Poly. In terms of the test optional, that's not something currently available to state universities. So for UWF, FSU, UF, Florida Poly, that is something that has to come from the Florida Board of Governors. We don't have any kind of determination on that. So right now we are not test optional. We do have requirements to report that information, but we do super score. If that changes this summer, we're definitely open to those changes, and we definitely want to do what's best for our students, but we have to wait to see what happens.
And at Lynn, we are test optional, giving the student and the family the opportunity to determine themselves if they feel that test score represents their academic potential well. They can freely submit that test score. If they don't, that's quite fine. We will judge what we're given with the transcripts, letter of recommendation, and the essay and so on to make that determination. And so there's no additional documents that we require. It's a simple, if you are submitting them, we'll consider them. If you are not submitting them, we will not consider those scores.
Like Michelle mentioned, we're kind of bound by the Florida Board of Governors as well. So we do require to have at least one set of ACT and SAT test scores on file. We have been permitted to be a little bit more flexible when we're reviewing those test scores, though, so that's been very helpful with this fall class. We extended our deadline to confirm from May 1st to July 31st. I think Anne-Marie mentioned that for this reason. We know that students need a chance to submit applications and for us to be a little bit more flexible with what's going on. We do super score, so it never hurts to send us any test score reports.
Okay, so looking at the time, I'm just going to ask one real quick question. What are the 3 most popular majors at your school?
The 3 most popular majors at UWF are marine biology, cybersecurity, mechanical engineering, I would say.
Michelle?
Our three most popular, I already mentioned the 2, so computer science and mechanical engineering, and then it's almost a tie between computer engineering and electrical engineering for that 3rd place.
Yeah.
And at Lynn, it's international business management, entrepreneurship, the business major is what we're known for, and biology and criminal justice.
Okay, I know we're drawing up on the end of the hour. Is there anything that you wish that I would have asked you that I haven't yet? Okay, Jason, do you have questions from the viewers?
Yep, just a couple of questions for you guys. So, Michelle, does Florida Poly match AP classes?
So we actually have an updated rubric on our website that shows exactly what classes will come in. Not all of the exam scores will come in for credit because we don't require the same 60 hours of general education requirements, but we will take what we can. So for AP Calc AB, if a student gets a 3 or higher, that does come in for credit for Calc 1. AP Computer Science Principles counts for a different credit instead of our Intro to Computation and Programming, but we do accept AP, ACE, dual enrollment, IB, CLEP. We do have all that information accessible for students, and we're happy to share that with counselors or whoever if they have questions about specific classes.
Thank you. Miguel, I'm assuming that since you've been using the Apple iPad system for a number of years, you were able to pivot more quickly than many schools to remote learning when COVID-19 hit. Can you comment on what this will mean for the fall?
Absolutely. We are very sensitive to what the CDC and what the health officials are saying. So what we're doing is preparing on ground for an on-ground start, as well as preparing for a full virtual or even a hybrid start. So we're preparing all 3 comprehensive starts depending on where we're going. We're still about 3 months out, so we have that time. But granted, we have the iPad program in place. It was just seamless going from having students be on ground, moving virtually for those students that were enrolled. So it was about a 3-day turnaround to have students go virtual. And if we have to do the same come fall, would be well prepared for that too.
And Anne-Marie or Grace, is University of West Florida a nursing direct entry?
So for nursing, if you have an RN, you can go to our RN BSN program, or you enter in as a freshman and you apply your sophomore year to the nursing program for the BSN program.
Can each of you tell us what percentage of your students are from out of state?
60% of our students are from the state of Florida, and then about 1% is international. The rest are out of state.
For us, it's well over 50% out of state.
For Florida Poly, we have 2.5% of our student population is out of state, and 2.5% are international students.
And can each of you comment on the criteria for transfer students to get scholarships?
Sure, I can go. It's a minimum 2.0 GPA for a transfer student. We require a transfer student to have at least a minimum of 12 credits and be in good academic standing. They are also eligible for transfer scholarships up to $17,000 in merit aid.
Michelle?
Yeah, so for our transfer students, we do look for students to have at least a 3.0 transfer GPA from all of their college courses. Being that we are a state university in the way that transfer students are classified, they do have to have at least 12 credit hours or more in order to be considered a transfer student. But all of our students, once they are admitted, are reviewed for scholarships. It's not guaranteed that even each of the transfer students would receive it, but they are automatically considered for those. But it is mostly based off of their academic merit, so their college transcripts.
And Grace or Anne-Marie?
Like Michelle said, students with 12 or more credit hours after high school graduation are considered transfer students. For scholarships, we're looking for a 3.0, and students must apply before April 1st to be considered for those scholarships, and we also take PTK scholarships as well.
Miguel, can you tell us what actual instruments are taught in the conservatory and what type of ensembles they comprise?
Absolutely. So the Conservatory of Music is solely orchestral instruments that you expect in the classical department. There's two segments, which is not very, I guess, not as well known. So there's the performance side, everywhere from piano, strings, and wind instruments. And there's actually also a composition major as well that students can take part in. And tuition is completely free if a student gains entry into that program.
Thank you. And Miguel, I have one more question for you from a current Lynn parent, very proud parent, and wanted to know what options Lynn is considering for fall classes and when, will the decision be announced?
Yeah, look, I think I speak for everyone here when I say we all don't want to rush into something that may bite us in the butt. We want to make sure that we are putting the students' health and safety first and those of our community. You know, we don't want students running around with a Nerf gun where there's going to be that opportunity they might get sick. We want to make sure that it's not hasty. So we are waiting to make a decision that's informed. And right now, so much is still changing. The only thing that we are being careful and considerate to do is make sure that we can institute changes that are not a Band-Aid approach. We don't want to make a decision within a week of being told by the CDC, okay, you guys can open up. So we will wait. We're playing a waiting game while preparing for the best and worst case scenarios. So for class, it's an online, but I want to highlight that it's virtual. So students will still see, interact, and hear from their professors. So they have to be like me and wear a shirt on the top and shorts on the bottom to make sure they're presentable for class. And whatever's the safest, most productive start, because it's obviously for each of these institutions, whether it's a STEM institution or a Lynn University or even a UWF, you know, we always put the students first in terms of making sure that they can transition as smoothly as possible. So that's our priority.
Thank you very much, Miguel, and thank you everybody else. We really appreciate you guys coming on with us tonight. I hope everyone in our audience got a chance to see some of the admission statistics that these schools were gracious enough to provide. I put them up on the screen. If anyone needs them, feel free to email me afterwards. Just wanted to close out, let you know that we have recorded this webinar, recorded every webinar we've done. You can find links to all of the webinars on our website if you go to scorewebinars.com. Upcoming, we have we'll do a whole webinar on application essays that get you admitted. And we have another COVID conversation segment coming up with Barbara and FAU, Eckert and Embry-Riddle. Both of those webinars will be next week. And we've got a couple more webinars that we're scheduling into June too, so just stay tuned. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you to all three colleges for appearing, and thanks, Barbara, for putting this all together for us. So good night, and stay safe and stay healthy, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.